Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a critical TVL large matchup today as the 4-0 Hopkinton Hillers host the 3-1 Westwood Wolverines. Colby Crum here on the call, and we'll have Denise Ontake on the camera as I'm sharing the floor here with Westward broadcaster Morgan Donahue. Happy to have you with us today.
Absolutely, Kobe. This is one I'm very much excited for. These are two teams that are always, vying for individual as well as relay championships as well as TVL titles. If the Wolverines want to have a shot at the regular season TVL title, they have to get a win tonight. That's going to be a very tough challenge. It's going to be an extraordinary challenge for Hopkinton, which hasn't lost a dual meet in quite some time.
Yeah, they definitely have a lot of wins tallied up this year, but it's a windy day here on the field, so anything can happen. Not necessarily looking for PRs, I would say, but it's definitely going to be an interesting meet as we have very sunny skies today, but some very heavy wind as well, as we will kick off with the boys 400 hurdles here shortly live on HCAM. So we will step away for just a minute here before we kick off the meet in this exciting TVL large matchup.
Yes, Susanna Rockers. Yep. She's good, so that'll be interesting. Maybe she's doing 400. Yeah, I mean, these are both pretty close time, like PRs. Yeah. Is that off mute? Or unmuted, folks, we're about to get kicked off with the 400-meter hurdles. Looks like the girls are going to start, and we're looking at a pretty good host of runners. So Susanna Rocker is the lone runner for the Wolverines, a personal best of a minute 8.17. Bella Walkowitz, 108, right on the 1 second. Just going to get a door. All right, when you hear that, it means one thing and one thing only. 400 hurdles are about ready to get underway here.
Ready to race here in Hopkinton. As you mentioned, Morgan, it's only one Westwood 400-meter runner, but it's one to look out for, not to say the least there. So definitely don't go by her as the race is about to kick off here.
It's got to feel a little intimidating when you're the only runner, but I guess it helps when the other jerseys are green as well.
Yeah. It does, and we're off here to start this race.
Here we go, yeah. So Susanna Rockers in lane 1 for the Wolverines. Lane 2, Bella Walkowitz. Lane 3, Isabella Walker. Lane 4, Mary Finnegan. Lane 5, it looks like Merritt Flynn. And lane 6, Regan Osich. So Rockers with an early lead.
Yeah, she's taking an early lead here as every hurdle starts to get harder as you move along this stretch. But Bella Walkowitz seems to be
making a move.
Here.
And it looks like the lanes are not what I was saying. So Susanna Rockers in the white, Hopkinton in the all the dark green. Westwood is white and green, but to distinguish, Susanna's in the white green.
And it looks like it's going to come down to the wire here as Bella seems to take a bit of a lead. You can see the heads getting low here.
But this is where Susanna puts on the jets. Here she comes making a strong finish. Last hurdle. And here we go. This is what it's all about. Rockers.
Will outkick
My
Norwich.
goodness.
Wow, what a way to start.
That is how you set. Yes. Unbelievable. So we'll wait to see what the times come in as. There's usually a bit of a delay on athletic.live. They do a great job. You know, they make the job easy, huh?
Make it easy having a computer in front of us to see who's going up when and for what heat. But that is one heck of a start there, as Bella seemed to have a bit of a lead going into the final turn, but Rockers, as you said, that was her spot to shine as she put in that final kick on that last 100 meters straightaway to get the win there and get 5 points for the girls, which, in case you're new to the track and field scoring, it's 5 points for first, 3 for second, and then 1 for third. So every place matters, especially when you're up front in that varsity heat where they actually do count towards your score.
So I believe there's just one heat for the girls.
Yes, you are correct. It's an event many people tend to avoid. It's a hard one at that. The 400-meter hurdles is, I would say, after doing track for 3 years, one of the hardest events to do, as we have the boys 400 hurdles about to kick off here.
They're just updating the hurdles right now. But the boys hurdle, we're gonna see a couple heats, which is great. A little more depth, and as you mentioned, you know, really a physical mental test when it comes to hurdles. We're gonna have heat 1, which is gonna consist of Westwood and Hopkinton. Top runner looking like Matthew Logan, a minute 1 with his personal best. Owen Tomasino Stewart, some pretty solid times, and then for the Wolverines, Evan Schnatterly and Reed Boger. And then also Hopkinton, actually, I missed actually the best runner. It looks like Zach McNally at a minute flat.
Yeah, you're going to want to watch out there for Zach McNally. He had a meet this last time we were home here against Matthew Logan's brother, Jacob. That one, he barely lost to Jacob Logan, so he's looking for some revenge here against the brother. But I would say definitely look out for lane 3.
Yeah.
Zach McNally, senior here in this mixed 400 hurdles race. And then lane 1, Owen, he is also a goalie for the soccer team.
Oh, very good soccer team.
Sophomore as well, so he has a great future ahead in Hiller Athletics.
Yeah, good athlete. So looks like the boys are in the blocks. We're about ready to get underway.
And we're off here in the boys' varsity 400 hurdle heat. Owen starts off in first since he's in lane 1 there, so he'll have that early lead automatically. I'm sorry, that's Matthew Logan who will have that lead.
And Hopkinton, 2 Hopkinton runners with a good, strong start.
Yeah, believe that is Zach McNally there trying to catch up to that stagger that he started off on.
I like the orange back.
Yeah, just some distinction between that Westwood green that you might see.
Yes, makes it easier.
So we'll have another close one here down the wire as Zach's looking to make up that stagger. He trips there. That hurdle looked like he might have rolled an ankle there.
Recovered, though.
Very good recovery from Zach as he's still looking.
It's not done.
Matthew Logan here. You can see they're a bit stumbling here to these last ones, but it will be Matthew Logan here who will take away the win for the Hillers. Wow.
That's guts. Who's number 2 there? After rolling the ankle?
That's Zach McNally.
That is impressive. I mean, he clearly rolled an ankle, and that definitely hurt. But the guts on him to finish strong, unbelievable effort.
Yeah.
Outstanding.
Great effort by him, showing his leadership as a senior here for the Hillers, as that's not an easy thing to do, hurdles in general, but also rolling an ankle there. Looked like it was, as he was landing, he landed awkwardly, stumbled, but kept that pace, kept going, almost got first place there for the Hillers. But he will get second as Matthew Logan will take away the win for the Hillers.
Heat 2, all Hillers. So some bragging rights.
I mean, I'm looking at like a Hillers win.
Any friends on this list? Lucas Reed, Bowden Mick, Jackson,
you want to look out for Lucas Reed here. He's I believe, a wide receiver for the Hillers football team as well. So you bring in some of that other sports here at the track, which is kind of what it's all about, because track can be a very different sport than others.
Absolutely.
So I'll explain later as we're kicking off this all-Hiller heat here, as this won't count to points, but it will count towards pride, and then you also want those personal records to hopefully
Does
improve.
it help? Can you qualify with a, on a run without opponents?
What you can do is, yes, you can improve your personal time. It just it won't count towards that meet score overall.
Yeah.
But you can definitely qualify for states, relays, whatever you have in the future. So there's definitely still a lot at stake, even if Hopkinton will come away with this win in the second heat here.
Now, the second heat, are any points qualify for the match itself, or is that only heat 1 only?
It is only heat one, all except for the regular 400 meter. So without the hurdles, that one, you can score whatever heat you're in, which I kind of like that.
I like that, yeah, because you might have some serious depth, and they might be a second or two off.
Yeah, exactly. So you're looking at Jackson Cafazzo here, setting the pace very clearly, and he'll walk away with this win, as you'll have Lucas Reed here, and he will take third there. So it will be Jackson Cafazzo in first place, as I believe that was Onve who will take that second place, as we'll update you. Some of these lanes might not be the most accurate, but we'll do what we can for you on HCAM as the 400-meter hurdles are concluded, and shortly we'll move on to the girls and boys 100-meter, as it's a very windy day here, as we said before, as that's definitely going to impact this meet.
The time's not officially in yet on athletic.live, but as soon as they are, we'll update everyone.
Also, something to note here, as we go to the longer distances, we might be looking at some interviews here down on the track, or maybe the bleachers, so something to look out for.
Yes.
And stay tuned for that if you want some post-game interviews with some of these athletes after just competing in their races. So
nothing better.
And nothing better than that, and not a dull moment here, even if it is a longer race, just something to keep you entertained with that.
I think you got to grab someone after the 800 to see how well they can do an interview while, trying to catch their breath. That's got to be the most grueling, right? 800 and trying to, be able to say a sentence still.
Yeah, you're just going to be panting, not saying a lot there, but I'm sure they'll do their best. 400 hurdles, I'm sure they're also hands on knees after that one.
Yeah.
As you saw some close finishes there, the girls barely losing that one for the Hillers, but the Westwood will get that win for the girls, and then boys will walk away with that win as well.
So next up, I know they usually, in Westwood, they do the 100. Is that 100 here as well, or do they kick off with the 100-meter hurdles?
I believe they will do the 100 meters regular.
Regular? Yeah, okay.
So for the girls first, and then the...
I used to call it the 100-yard dash, and people were laughing at me, like, nah, it's 9 more yards or whatever that is.
Yeah.
But that's a fun event. I mean, that's one of the most exciting. I mean, all these are exciting, but the 100 is exciting because you're getting a lot of football players. You're getting a lot of athletes.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like sprinters. Who you won at the bragging rights. So who's the fastest person in the Tri-Valley League?
Exactly.
And that's the true test.
That's what it's about. And as you move to these shorter distances, you'll see that the decimals matter so much more. As you'll see in the 400 meters, and they'll be seconds apart, maybe a second. But with the 100 meter, they'll all have like a 12, 11, or a 10 next to their name. And it's all about what the numbers are after that, which goes into play about their block starts. You might see them all starting on blocks if you haven't. Don't know exactly what that is. It's kind of a lunge to get you out to the race. And then here with headwind and tailwind, those factors are going to be implemented here with this heavy windy day. So this is where the training matters most here, is with the 100 meters, because it's so much harder to improve your time.
Yeah. I feel like the best 100-meter runners are the ones that don't take weeks off. They're constantly working at it. You take a week off, 2 weeks off, and you could set yourself back.
Exactly.
And I feel like the football players certainly have a leg up, being naturally gifted sprinters. But then the track runners have the leg up because they are constantly in routine of running, and constantly in that that mix of working at their craft where. That is important. You can't underestimate, the work that people put into being the top runners and maintaining that speed as well.
Yes, I agree. As
as a track athlete myself back in the day, I can easily say that they had practice every single day. And then if you're one of the best runners, you'll have it on the weekends as well. And then some might not view it as much of a sport, especially considering that, you know, guys and girls both competing for each other as well, which is the only sport that does that here.
Yeah.
But there's a difference of track speed and football speed. And some of those football athletes can turn into that track speed, but other athletes as well, we'll be looking at training every single day, doing these workouts just to improve their time. So I agree 100% with you that you can't take a day off, especially with these quicker races here, because to get like 0.2 of a second better, that's going to take a lot of training, especially depending on how fast you go.
Yeah. So we have results. Results are in. So Susanna Rockers taken first for the girls 400-meter hurdles at a time of 1:01.23, which is a personal best. So outstanding for her in these conditions. Bella, who was right behind her, she must have hit some hurdles, because it looked like they deducted that in the time of 1:09.85 for second place. Isabel Walker taking third at 1:13.92. And then for the boys 400-meter hurdles, Matthew Logan, personal best. What's going on right now? The wind is not a factor, apparently.
Not a factor at all. I guess we were mistaken on that one.
101. Maybe it's in the back. Yeah, maybe that's helping. 101.52 for Logan. Number 2, Zach McNally, 102.06. And then third place, Jackson Cafazo at 104.51.
Yeah, so Hopkinton boys gets the hurdles there for all 3 spots. That'll be a good start for them, as hurdles have always been one of our strong suits here. But something to think about. We mentioned how the wind might be a factor. It might be headwind at some parts, but it also might be tailwinds in the other. So it might even out. So
we sound like pilots over here.
Yeah. Just talking about flights, but
it's going to be 6-hour flight going this way and then a 4.5-hour flight coming back.
As we're about to get ready with the 100 meters, look out for Callie Owens from Hopkinton. I believe, lane 3 there.
Yeah.
She'll be looking to get the win here.
Yes, wow, she's got a very impressive personal best time.
And we're off here.
Yes, here we go.
And Callie up front here. So there's going to be a Westwood Water in lane 4. So this is going to be a close one here.
Lewis putting on a strong finish.
Wow, right down the end there.
That is close.
Wow.
My goodness. Layla Elliott Lewis. She was right in the hip pocket of Callie Owens for, a good portion. Hard to see the angle from where we're at, how things finish.
Exactly. I mean,
it was very close.
Close ending there. I believe Callie might have walked away with the win, but we will update you on that. And Lewis here listed at a 13.11. Yeah. That's more than half a second.
She's getting faster. So she was part of Nationals.
Wow.
So she was part of the 400 medley, I believe is what they did at Nationals. She kicked it off. She kicked it off with a sprint, and she was very, very impressive. But getting faster this season. Had a really good week last week against Norwood.
Yeah, that was a close one. Callie Owens, she's not always seeing people to her left and right again to the end there. So we'll see what those results show. But another thing to talk about, Callie's also a soccer player for the girls. So bringing these other sports are going to help you, especially soccer, where you're always running up and down that field. But that was a close one to the finish there. This has been a close meet, especially for the girls there. I mean, Westwood took the win there for the hurdles. That's 5 points. And then Hopkinton took second and third. So that would be a 5-4. And then depending on this is still going to be a close meet, even if Callie did walk away with that win. So we're moving on to Heat 2 here. We're looking at a couple missing lanes, 4 and 5. So we just have 4 people on this heat. So we're kicking things off there. A lot of Westwood and Hopkinton mix as we're looking at lane 2, Shannon McGrail.
She's flying out there.
Yeah, watch out for lane 6, though.
And as well as Malaya Cannon. So a couple Wolverines, really impressive there. Shannon McGrail, younger sister Kellen McGrail, who is a lacrosse player for Davidson, had a big win on Saturday, and they're going to be in the NCAA playoffs this week. So really cool. Westwood right now has 5 players in the Division I girls NCAA playoffs this week.
Wow, Westwood's
really
got
fun
that
to see.
Winning mentality. McGrail's got that winning gene as well, as you mentioned with that lacrosse. As Heat 2 there, I mean, what's good about Heat 2 is winning that. That kind of wants you to put some momentum and to maybe get put in that varsity heat.
Yeah.
As all those athletes want. They
right
want
on the doorstep.
They want to be scoring those points. They want to be recognized for all their hard work.
We have another heat upcoming.
Yeah, we have many heats for the 100 as those usually the ones that attract the most, and a lot of the runners here do that. Some of them consider it a workout, especially if you're an 800-meter runner.
Yeah.
You're going to look at getting some of those like sprints towards the end, as that's what you do at the end of an 800 and a 400 as well, as you're going to be sprinting to the finish. So some of these track meets for these athletes are considered a workout rather than the actual competition, depending on how many events you're doing at that meet.
So Heat 3 looks like unofficially the contestants: Lila Donahue, Madison Dufour, Heather Sweeney, Catherine McMurray, Evelyn Woodbury, and Sophia Zaneski. Yeah, we only have three.
We only have three runners. Some of those might have been.
There's some changes that happen throughout.
Yeah, but look like the Westwood runner will win that. Madison Dufour.
Yep.
She'll walk away with the win for that one for Westwood. Won't impact the points, but will help her hopefully get a better time in the future for Westwood. Has something to look out for the boys 100 meters.
So it looks like Callie Owens with a narrow finish to finish first. Layla Elliott Lewis just behind. So Callie Owens 12.79. Or is this just the is this their personal best?
I believe that is the results that are in, because I believe Callie's personal record is around a 12.5, so she might have had a slower race today.
Yes, and that's, that looks time-wise pretty consistent with how close it was.
Yes.
So we have an update in the boys' baseball game. The Hillers on top 2-0 on Norton on the Lancers. We saw a home run earlier, and then I listened to the call. Tom Nappy with a great home run call as Heat 4 underway here. There's Catherine McMurray. That's a strong finish. So great job there. Catherine McMurray, basketball player for the Wolverines. She's I think a shot putter too. So love to see the runners, the athletes that do throws and the runs. Good combo.
Yeah, it's a great combo. You have many strengths. That's what track allows, is it gets you to display all of them. If you're have more muscles, you want to do that shot put, try to get a weighted throw for that. But then if you're a sprinter as well, you can try to improve your time. As the Hillers just took a 3-0 lead, so more action in that game. You might maybe be able to see some cheers in the distance from that one, as I believe it's Dylan Hatherley and Tom Nappy on the call for that one. So tune into that whenever you please during this track meet, because that's going to be a good one for the Hillers.
After this meet, of course, because this is the event to watch.
This is where the action's at here on HCAM, is this track and field meet, this TVL large matchup. Just one game is decided between these two teams. So this is a very important meet. And then something to mention, the boys 100-meter runners. Normally we have Iago Ferreira for the boys, as he's our fastest runner, but he's out with a torn hamstring, I believe, as that happened on Saturday with the relays. So it's going to be closer, as we have another heat here. Some Westwood and Hopkinton mix, green.
And some great finishes there. And looks like heat-wise, I think there is 5. Oh, no, there's one more heat, I believe, for the girls' 100-meter. So Colby Crum, Mike Taroja, Denise Antaki, Morgan Donahue, delighted to bring HCAM coverage of the TVL Large track meet between TVL Large rivals, the Wolverines of Westwood, as the visitors, and the home Hopkinton Hillers. It's no surprise of Hopkinton being as talented as they are when it comes to any running sport, where this is where the marathon starts.
Yeah,
so
definitely got that for our town. But this is going to be a good meet, a very interesting one at that, as there's also going to be some field events that you might not be able to see right away on the camera, but they will be a big factor, as well, as this is track and field.
Yes.
So there will be events such as the high jump, long jump, triple jump, shot put, javelin as well. All of those will impact the points for this overall meet for the boys and the girls, as those are scored separately. But something to look out for as this meet progresses is the runners on the track aren't the only ones impacting this race.
Nope. And I was talking to a couple of Wolverine runners as Heat 5 about to be kicked off, and they said we really need to score well in the throws, because that's where they think they have the advantage.
Yes, I agree with that. They have some strong throwers. So we're kicking off the last heat here as well. Have Westwood runner blazing.
Yes.
Lane 6.
Terrific effort. My goodness.
She might be in the wrong heat there. She's going to have to get moved up a couple. Last heat, put some respect on her name.
Outstanding.
So we're about to kick off with the boys 100 meters shortly here. This one's going to be an impactful one to this race. All these varsity heats are.
Yeah. So who do we keep an eye on? Who are the big names we need?
Well, let's see. With Iago out here, I mean, Connor McNally, I don't believe he's normally in this varsity heat, so it's definitely going to be interesting to watch him. Yeah. But Harry Miller, lane 5, he is very strong in the 110-meter hurdles. So I believe he'll have a very strong time here as well. So he will be in lane 5. But Patrice as well is another football athlete for the Hillers wide receiver. So other athletes, other sports impacting this, but I will call out Harry Miller for this one. So we'll have 2, or I believe, yeah, it's an even lineup here, Westwood and Hopkinton.
It's going to be a good mix. For the Wolverines, Lucas Rizzi, proud of the Maze, neighborhood I live in back in Westwood. Soccer player. We got a couple soccer players. Michael Ellis Calloway, soccer player as well. So it's been a common theme we've seen so far.
It's interesting as Connor and Harry are also both soccer players as well.
So they're probably a little smack talking going on when it comes to the fall rivalry when it comes to soccer.
So we're about to kick off here. I believe there's no lane 2 for Lucas. Let's see here. And we're off here. It's Harry Miller takes an early lead, but we'll have lane 1. But it will be Harry Miller who will walk away with this victory and the win for the Hillers. I believe we had some different names in the lister because we had Jack Knutson for the lane 1. So some of these names might not be updated for the athletic.net. We apologize for that, but
always unofficial until the gun goes off.
But it will be Harry Miller who takes away the win for the Hillers. It's 5 points for them.
Those guys are flying. Absolute flying.
Yeah, they don't care about that win, as we had a couple empty lanes there in that heat as well.
Boys javelin, please report. Boys javelin.
But it's also, when you come into these meets, there is a lot of strategy that comes from the coaching staff. So they'll pull out some runners because they think they'll be better suited in some other events, because at the end of the day, they want to win.
Absolutely.
So they'll take maybe a 100-meter runner out and put them in the 200 or maybe a longer distance, because trying to jockey where can we get some points to come away with a big win.
Absolutely. They're going to want to put them where they think they can impact the race and get some of those points that they need. If they have a bunch of strong 100-meter runners, they're going to put some others in the 2, 4, maybe a 4x1.
Yeah.
So
it's like chess.
Yeah,
where
it
it's
really
like, we'll give you the win here, but guess what? We're stacking these back-end events.
Especially, with the relays as well, as you're going to have some strong runners there. As we're kicking off the second heat of the 100 meters, as we're looking at lane 1, 2, and 3. Connor McNally in the middle there, as that's a close one to the end.
Yeah.
Tough to tell who won that one.
It's 3 Hiller runners, though, for 1, 2, 3. That's got to be, we've talked about it on the call in Westwood when we've done the meets, but even in Heat 2, if you have 3 of your team finishing 1, 2, 3, that's building momentum for your squad. That's whether it's the people running after or people who are. It's just great momentum, even if those points don't count. Seeing your colors go across that finish line, 1, 2, 3.
Yes, absolutely. Boosting that morale. This sport is all about support for your team.
Yeah.
You'll see, especially with the last event, is the 4x400 meters. You'll see a bunch of those athletes gather around the finish line, as that's something they want to do. They want to have that confidence, because hearing someone cheer your name, that might be what gets you over that finish line half a second faster. And that's the difference in these races, especially with the shorter times. So
you ever done a 10K or a half marathon and you got people cheering you on? It's much different than doing it by yourself on the track.
Yes, I haven't done that myself, but I've seen, the Boston Marathon, as you mentioned before, having those people cheer your name, having friends, family, you might have your parents on the stands here. But it's definitely going to help you. As we're looking at 4 runners here in this third heat for the 100-meter. That's off here.
Interesting with the depth behind them that they don't plug a couple more, into this heat.
And I believe that is Jacob Logan in lane 1, who will take away that. Some of these names not updated there, but Jacob.
He looks like a football player.
Yeah, he actually plays soccer. He's very talented in many sports. He actually does a lot of different events here for the Hillers. His brother walked away with the 400 hurdles win, so definitely got some track blood in that family. But Jacob there, not normally in the third heat, as you'll see him in the 200 meter and I believe the 4x1 later today. So look out for that. But
now talk to us about how many heats you can do. So can you do 2 running heats and 1 throwing? What's the combinations that you can do in a given meet?
So it really does depend on what the coach wants you to do. I was talking to some of the athletes before, and one of them mentioned they were doing 3 running heats, and I was like, that's insane. I was like,
can you do that though?
I believe you can do that. It's not very common. Some athletes, I believe Dylan Tran, he's very good at the jumping. He's doing the 100 meter, one of the later heats, but then he's doing long jump, triple jump. So it does depend on that variation. I believe it is 3 events you can do total.
Yep.
I think it's just a matter of which events you do, how many track and how many fields. Moving on to a 3-person Hopkinton heat there.
Hopkinton, incredible depth. I mean,
yes.
We have 5 and 6 heats because of the great depth by the Hillers.
Yeah, it's track team's very large for the Hillers. Gets a lot of attention as this is a non-cut sport, one of the only ones that the Hopkinton program allows. So it gets a lot of attention. Even if you're not one of the strongest runners, you're here to improve, to get fit, to have fun with your friends as well. And if you're not impacting the points, you're still going to impact the race. As I mentioned before, cheering, helping on your team, that's something that's a very important factor in these races, as this is a close meet here. Hopkinton Westwood, TVL large matchup. This is a very critical one moving into the end of the season, as Hopkinton is trying to hold on to that perfect record, as Westwood with that 1 tally of a loss, trying to even that out here.
So heat 5. And track is a different culture. You know, it's a family. It's a bigger family than I've ever seen any other sport when talking to the track runners. You know, you're a freshman, you're a senior, doesn't matter. You know, you're looked upon as a brother or a sister.
Exactly. And having girls and guys be on the same team, practice together, it just increases that number and makes it more of a unified team. So that's something that's very important here. And as you mentioned, it doesn't matter what grade you're in. It just matters if you're trying.
We're seeing the hacky sack out right now. Apparently that is now back.
Yes.
You know, we saw that in the 90s, Mike, you know, the mid-90s, big college type activity. It is officially back, the hacky sack.
Yes, I can say as attending high school right now as a junior, it's all over the halls in between classrooms. Haven't been able to grab my hands on a sack that I own myself, but definitely been getting involved in that. It's a fun game to play. As you'll see here in the middle of the field. Yeah. It's just crazy to see some of these trends that come and go. It might be gone in just a couple weeks, but
next will be the devil sticks. You remember those from King Richard's Fair? You'd buy them there. You had the 2 sticks with the middle stick, and you had to whack them back and forth and keep them airborne. It was you could twist it. It was all types of things. Yeah, the yo-yo, Lords. The yo-yos is a big trend, you know, and being able to do the tricks, like trying to do the bird cage. There's all types of stuff. But yeah, it was that. You know what? Hey, if hacky sack comes back, you can't underestimate other things. As heat 6 now kicking off.
Based on the fact that I knew nothing that you just said, shows my youth here. I don't know what you're talking about with yo-yos. That's just something that I've seen in like a book or something.
It was a big deal.
It's just crazy to see some of these trends. As I used to go around the random shops, see all these little balls, and be like, what are these? What am I supposed to do with them? They're like hacky sacks, and now they're all over here. Yeah. So definitely seeing some of this culture here coming back in Hopkinton and all over the country. I've seen actually for these hacky sacks. It's just if you see the videos,
you've seen the
clips.
Joking MIA power rankings for the hacky.
Yeah, I have actually. Hopkinton's trying to get involved in that, so maybe something else to look out for.
Yeah, some more rivalries. It's beyond just the real sports. The hacky sack. Rivalries.
Some might call that a sport. You never know. I mean, depending how serious it gets.
I saw breakdancing in the Olympics, so I mean, anything can happen.
True.
Speed walking. Flag football, is on its way. Cornhole. You know, I like the sports where if you can have a resting heart rate at 60 beats per minute during that sport, that's my kind of sport.
Yeah, I mean.
Pickleball, give that time. As we're taking a peek at the throws right now. It was a great throw. as we are now in Heat 7 as well.
Another, I believe, all-Hiller heat. There might have been one Westwood athlete that snuck in. It's hard to tell with all these green, but
incredible depth.
Yeah, definitely great culture, big practices. Is taking you into some of the inside view of the practices. As I've done that for the past 3 years, you'll have all these different groups, the mid-distance, distance sprinters practicing individually as they'll do their own workouts. Some of the hardest being the 4x400, as you'll just do it yourself 4 times with a minute rest in between.
What's the banquet like? Is it like a high school graduation?
Oh my gosh, I remember doing one of those banquets. That lasted a while.
I was gonna say, that's going to last
my seat was getting very uncomfortable there.
Yeah.
That was a long banquet. A lot of seniors with their speeches.
Oh, yeah. It's probably no offense if you, after you get your award, that people get up and start to head home to do homework.
Yeah, that was a long one. I just brought back some memories mentioning that. But
I think it usually starts at 5.
Yes.
Instead of 7 like most of them.
So we do have some results. So the 100-meter results. So we talked about the girls. Callie Owens taking first place at 12.79. Layla Elliott-Lewis, second place, 13.02. Abby Presley, hockey player for the Wolverines, took third place at 13.16. The boys, Harry Miller, very impressive, 11.21. All Hillers, 1, 2, and 3. Number 2 is Connor McNally. Number 3, Patrice Petit-Frere at 11.58. So
a lot of Hopkinton runners. You can see scrolling down the column. It's just
so Hopkinton took the first 11.
Wow.
So they were 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way 1 through 11 was their top runners. Westwood's got some homework left to do in the 100. However, I don't see like Charlie Jessup up there. I don't see Keelan McDonald, who are typically some of the top runners. You know, as you mentioned as well, some top runners missing for the 100 for Hopkinton.
Yes, it's 200 as well. Ian Welding, as maybe the coaches decide to move around where they're going, or maybe they're just not competing. We'll find out shortly. But something to note: a lot of those runners are soccer players. Harry Miller, Connor McNally, Josh Fonseca, Matt Delpret, Daniel Morrissey, Aiden Picard, all Hiller soccer players. So.
Yeah, you can't underestimate. I mean, this past weekend was the relays. A lot of them were involved in the relays. And you know what? You're putting a little extra in those relays. So sometimes it's some wear and tear on the muscle. Sometimes you get a strain or a pull. Those things happen. So I'm sure some of that might have been in the mix when it came to certain runners not being available today.
Yeah, as we're moving on here to the girls' mile. And while we do that, I will look to get some interviews here on the edge of the bleachers of some of those runners who just compete in their events, as we'll have Morgan Donahue here on the call for that as well. So stay tuned for that. We'll step aside just for a second while I go down there, get some interviews, and then I'll get you posted with some of those athletes and how they feel about their race.
Love it.
You're live on HCAM.
Absolutely. All right, the girls' 1 mile race up right now. So we have some strong runners. So Lila Heiling, Chloe Tumbleton, the top runners for Hopkinton, Kiera Chi, Elise Boger, Adrian Kelly for the Wolverines. They also have Brooke Hahn, Kara Sullivan, Allison Desmond, Kira Souza, Rosalind Kochi, and Megan Hahn. So this is going to be great. I mean, both teams have, it's not exactly the cross-country distance, that's a 5K, but this is a good test where it's a long distance, but, you see a lot of speed towards the end as Hillers with the early lead. It looks like Lila Helling, and then Templeton not far behind, Kiera Chi in third place, and then we got the pack. Always going to be a pack
always
when
a
you
pack.
see these.
Yeah, they always stick together through and through. They know they're not out in front, though, so they might as well stick with their friends.
Yeah. So that is coming down to the first lap out of 4. So 1 out of 4 laps, 4 total for the mile. As we mentioned, looks like Helling taking the lead with Tumbleton not far behind. And pretty cool. We're going to have Colby Crum doing some interviews.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice to see these students coming in, and the more and more, the better. I mean, to have two. I mean, we've been trying for years, and we always bring it up where we have our station manager, Jim Cousins, who is the TV teacher. He teaches every day at the high school, and he brings it out to the kids. He even mentions it to his middle school TV club. And just trying to get people to see any interest. And we haven't had an interest with the youth broadcaster for a long time, since way back about, it has to be almost 18 years ago.
Wow.
Where Peter Bransfield, he was an 8th grader at the time, and he says, I want to be a sports announcer, and I want to start announcing volleyball. And ever since then, we've been 19 seasons. Well, it had to be, this was our 19th season of volleyball. And it was just incredible to see him start something like that. It was him and his mother.
That's incredible. And the volleyball, obviously, both boys and girls, a really successful program. The girls, I think last year they were Final Four.
Final Four last year, correct, yeah.
Terrific season. I think they had another great season this year as well. They jumped up to Division I.
Division I, and I think they made it to first round.
Yeah, incredible.
And then we have the boys. The boys are looking good this year. They're on their road trip now.
Yeah, they swept Westwood the other day. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice to hear.
Yeah.
I think.
For you guys, it was actually yesterday.
Yesterday, was it? Okay.
Yeah. So the Hillers have 2 runners, first and second, and then a big pack for third place.
Right.
A couple Wolverines in the front of the pack, Kira Chi as well as Kara Sullivan. But I'm not sure if I have Helling right or Tumbleton right, so I'm just going to say Hopkinton's in first and second.
There you go.
Can't go wrong with that.
Well, like I said, it's tough. It's nice that they put this stuff online for you, and the coaches give you some information. And with Colby being in the school, it just makes it so much easier. It makes this broadcast so delightful and colorful.
Yeah.
But it looks like he's got
a couple runners.
He's got a couple of runners.
A couple speedsters, as Hopkinton going to finish the 3rd lap, and it's going to be the 4th and final lap, with a pretty sizable lead for the lead runner.
So we'll finish this race here, and then we'll take it down to him.
Yeah, absolutely. So Colby's getting ready as the Hiller leader is rounding the corner on a beautiful day. Couldn't ask for a better day.
This is something else. The wind, it sounds bad, but man, it feels so good. It really does.
Oh,
especially bacon in this press box.
We earned this. So there's one last turn for the lead runner for the Hillers. Pretty sizable lead, very impressive. And as mentioned, don't know if it's Helling or Tumbleton. They're pretty close when it comes to their times. I mean, their best, Helling's personal best is 5:44 and Tumbleton 5:45.
Colby, we're just going to finish this. Once we finish this, we'll come back to you. Yeah, finish the race. This is the last thing, right?
Yep, so this is the last lap.
Yep.
Hopkinton going to take the 5 points for number 1. They'll take 3 as well for number 2. So a very strong finish for the number 1 finisher. Number 2, also very impressive, and we're going to have 2 Wolverines finishing 3rd and 4th. Unfortunately, 4th place won't take points, but at least Boger in 3rd will take a point for the Wolverines. So impressive finish for the Hillers as they took 1, 2. Wolverines take 3. And Mike, what are we going to send it over to Colby? As Colby has.
We'll get Denise to turn the camera down to Colby.
And we're going to send it to Colby, who's got a very fast runner from the girls.
We are live here right by the track here with junior athlete Callie Owens. You just ran the 100 meters. It was a close one to the end there. Can you take me through your race?
Yeah, today the tailwind is really good, so we were all hoping for fast times. I didn't PR, but it's definitely a fast time because my PR that I got last meet was fake because it was hand time, so I was just happy to get that consistently. I think biggest thing today was driving out of the blocks, and we all did it really well, so I was happy.
So how does that work? To the people who don't know, driving out of the blocks, how does that matter and how does that impact the race?
It's just better to like get your knee high and get your arms big the first step so that you can start big instead of having to start like little and have to build up to it.
All right, and then lastly, prom coming up this Friday. You more nervous for getting ready for prom or this race that you just had?
Getting ready for prom.
All right, you heard it here as well. Maybe look to get some other interviews here on HCAM as we'll take you back to the 1 mile.
Those are the hard-hitting questions. Absolutely outstanding, Colby.
Well, that's what's on everyone's mind is prom. Big day ahead.
You know what? We've seen, Westwood, bunch of prom, bunch of people attending prom that are, track meet teammates.
Right.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. As we mentioned, very close.
I wonder how they asked. Do they, like sneak up with their friends
After
with a
practice
sign?
or whatnot.
With a sign and everything, and the camera's running?
There's always some kind of running theme to it, too. They now do the promposals, so those are always pretty impressive. I did a post-game interview the other day, and it was Morgan Cox and Elise Boger were part of it. We had like 6 total runners, and the next day they were officially going to prom. So I'm like,
incredible.
That's pretty cool.
Great little stories. All right, well, enough of hearing me talk. I'm going to give it back to Colby.
So the boys mile. Colby, welcome back. Terrific job, by the way. That was awesome.
Had some more runners trying to get interviewed there, but they have to warm up from their races, understandably, as Callie Owens took away that win for the girls 100 meters. As I heard you guys talking about prom there, definitely something coming up this Friday. Hopkinton, just figured I'd lighten the mood here on this race
Now,
day.
what are you more nervous for? Live HCAM action or getting ready for prom itself?
Honestly, prom, I got it figured out. I know what I'm doing. I got my table. I got my suit.
You got your squad.
Ties all figured out. Promposal's been done. So
there you go.
Honestly, I'm kind of settled for both.
Nicely
if I had to
done.
answer that one, is ready for that. All the buses handled, everything taken care of. So we'll just.
You do your promposal.
So yeah, my promposal. That's a good story actually. Is I showed up to this girl's house with my dog, and she has a dog as well. So I rang the doorbell, and her dog comes out. I was like, "I need your dog for this promposal," and it was, "I double dog dare you to go to prom with me."
Look at you!
Signs on both.
Put some thought into that.
Yeah, signs on both dogs for that. So it was the sentence was a bit spread out there. Yeah. So that was a good one. But I've seen some very interesting ones on the Instagram page.
Look at this. So great start so far. I mean, Sean Finnegan in the TVL Invitational had I think it was around 15 minutes for his 5K.
Yeah, he's insane. I remember going to the track last year. Actually, I was at the soccer field right by it, and my friends and I were just kind of messing around, and I would see Sean just running. Yeah. And that's what it gets to. You want to be the best runner, you're going to have to train when no one else is looking at you. Sean clearly showing his training today. He's by far our best long distance runner for the Hillers.
One of the most improved, from what I understand, from freshman year till now.
He's just insane. There's mentality, but there's just also that gene, and he has that running gene.
Owen Kochi really holding strong. So Sean's best time is 4:26. Owen's about 25 seconds behind, 4:59. When it comes to personal best, but Owen's hanging in there right now, and we're almost halfway through after they finish up this straightaway.
So yeah, take me through that girls 1 mile. What happened there?
Yeah, so the girls, it was 1 and 2 Hopkinton. I couldn't tell who was 1 and 2, but we have the results. So it was Tumbleton. I didn't know if it was Helling or Tumbleton who was first, but very impressive run by Tumbleton with a time of 5:35. Helling was second at 5:42, and then Elise Boger, 5:49. Kira Chi not far behind at 5:52. The reason why Westwood does so well, though, and they won the state championship in cross country last year, is because of the pack mentality. So they might not be the 1-2, but look at this. They were 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
So that's where they really become strong when it comes to cross country, is they have a really good pack.
That's something to look out for.
Yeah.
I'm not most familiar with the pack, but that's definitely something you'll see on the track, is running together with your team. And they put up great results there. Obviously, Hopkinton took 1 and 2. But for that cross country, as you mentioned, that will be more of a factor, as the Hiller girls will get 8 points added to that from that first and second place finish.
So I believe this is going to be the end of lap 3 and then final lap.
Yep, final lap after this one.
Finnegan is feeling it right now, striding it out.
Yeah, he's in the zone.
Yep.
no one by him, but that doesn't matter. Running by yourself has got to be challenging. Yeah. No one to pace you, but yourself. So
that's where science really matters. Like with having a watch that you're looking at to push yourself and where you are, and really holding yourself accountable.
Yes, I agree. Timing yourself, making sure you stick to that time is very important for the mile and 2 mile and 800 as well. You want to get an even split. You don't want to run too fast in the earlier laps and then just be kind of slowing down and stumbling at the end, barely crossing the finish line. So you have to hold yourself accountable, like you said, as Sean Finnegan is clearly doing that in a world of his own here, almost lapping some of these athletes, but not quite, as he will look at this last turn.
Very strong. And he will be running at the next level next year at UMass Lowell?
I believe so, yes. He made his commitment there.
Division I, pretty impressive. And he is finishing strong here. He'll take the 5 points. Owen Kochi is well finishing strong for the Wolverines. He'll take 3. And then who's going to fight for the 1 point? What do we got here?
3 athletes here, all trying to get that 1 point. And what's also interesting to look at is getting 5 points will get you that varsity letter. So these 1 point, these third places, they matter to these athletes. They want to have that piece of paper.
I didn't know that. That makes it a lot easier. If you're on the roster, no. These are the requirements right here.
Yeah, 5 points is a varsity letter. So that means if you win a varsity heat, you get that letter. If you get third place 5 times, that's varsity letter. So that's why that final place for points matters so much, and that's why they were all fighting for that, as that's something that they want to be respected for.
So the rest of the runners finishing up strong. Henrik Legers for the Wolverines and a couple Hillers. Henrik Legers has been terrific. He writes the recaps for the boys' track and field events. So he'll write it and it'll be posted on westwoodlivingsports.com. So it does a great job. And to have an athlete's perspective too, where he can really put his 2 cents on what is actually very, very impressive that we might not be aware of that came out of a certain meet. So really cool.
It's a great opportunity for him, and it's good to have students get involved as I am right now. Yeah. Getting that perspective and then him being able to write for his town.
Sure.
It's great having those different opportunities to get involved in the town and share their specific side of athletics.
So it looks like we are done with the boys' mile. What's up next?
You can check here. I believe we have the 4x100, so that's going to be a fast one and a good one.
Yes.
So you'll have, that is the one where the baton is introduced. So there'll be 4 runners for one specific team, as there will be multiple teams here. You'll see teams of 4. So you'll have them spread out each quarter along the track here, hand out baton, and those passing times is what's most important in this race. You don't want to slow down so much that all that speed you just used is wasted. Because you want to hand off that baton and with speed, giving it to the next runner. And you don't even want to look at who you're giving, who's getting the baton. You want to just have your hand back, yell out baton, as many of the athletes do, and then they'll just go. And this is going to be a full-out sprint here, as we'll have, let's see here, we have, I believe, 5 teams here for the girls. We'll have lanes 2 through 6 split evenly between Hopkinton and Westwood.
I'm going to see if I can catch up with Kochi and Finnegan. See if they might be up for one. I'm going to leave it with Colby, but we'll see if we can find him.
All right. So you are stuck with me on the call as we're finishing up this mile for some of these athletes, as Sean reeled in first there, but we have some also competed here. As after this, we will move on to the girls 4x100 and then the boys next. And as I mentioned before, with the 100-meter being so critical for those decimals, that is very much a factor here, as each person is running 1/4 of the track. So this is a very interesting heat, interesting type of race, I should say. As you'll see at the very last event is the 4x400, meter. Well, each athlete will do 1 lap around and then hand off their baton. So it's a bit faster version of that. As on paper, Hopkinton is listed as the fastest time with having Bransfield, Rogers, Morrissey, and Jeremiah, all strong athletes for the Hillers, as some of them participate in other sports as well. As I know, Kaylin Jeremiah, she does volleyball for the Hillers. So again, that other sports will play a factor here in these faster races. Listed as the second fastest time at 54 seconds, again unofficial, as they've yet to race, but just the times put in the start. We'll have McGrail, Corrigan, Presley, and Boehm for the Wolverines. So they're only listed at 2 seconds slower. Obviously that can change. That's not going to be put on their shoulders right away. They're going to have to prove themselves. They're going to have to try to beat out the Hillers, as we have a close meet here. You know, the girls, if you remember the very first event, Bella Walkowitz fell 2nd place in an event that she's normally very strong at. And she had a great performance. She just got outplayed by the Wolverines. So the Hiller girls are going to look to get some more of a footing here, moving on to the middle half of this race, as the 4x1 team is definitely a team to look out for. They will try to make their mark on this meet. So we'll have some of these milers finishing up. We'll see some Hillers athletes and some Westwood as well. So you'll see in the middle of the track is just a field. You know, that's what it's about, is people talking, socializing. You saw the hacky sack before. This is a meet, but it lasts a while, lasts many hours. As athletes, it's more of a culture. As Morgan said before, it is about the culture of track. Running, it might seem boring. You're just like, oh, I'm just going to run around the track, but there's so much more to it. There's hurdles, there's a shot put, there's like poles to throw, poles to jump over. There's all these different events that you can compete in no matter what you want to do. And so there's always a place for you in this non-cut sport of both girls and boys, which is the only one that the Hiller program allows, and I believe it's the same for Westwood as well. So that's a very fun opportunity. So if you're ever looking to join some running, you always have a home here at either Westwood or Hopkinton. So we're looking to finish out this mile, as we have a few stragglers pulling up the rear here. They're finishing there. I believe they might still have another lap to go. I believe there was 2 heats. Oh, yep, there was 11 runners. So there might have been 2 heats of this mile, which is why you're seeing this long gap between Finnegan and these other ones. Not fully confident on that, but that might be the reason why some of these milers are taking extra time, and the fact that Finnegan's a very strong runner. So all these athletes here trying to improve their own times, as we should be moving on to the girls 4x100 shortly. As they're on the 3rd lap here, and then shortly we'll have Morgan Donahue here with some interviews from these athletes. Finishing up a mile here. As you can see at the finish line, these athletes putting their hands up. It takes everything out of you doing a mile on this track. That's 1,600 meters. It's not an easy task. Definitely avoided doing the mile. In fact, my events that I did back when I competed in track and field were the 400 and 200, so I stayed away from those longer distances. But no matter what you run, it will take everything out of you if you are trying your best, which is all the coaches will ask for from these athletes, no matter what level they are at.
Ready when you are, Morgan. Tell me we're ready when you are. Whenever you're ready.
We'll have Morgan Donahue here with some interviews.
Girls 4x1 on the track. Girls 4x1 on the track.
All right, folks, and we're standing here with a couple speedsters when it comes to long distance. I mean, 1 mile, and we got, two of the best in the Tri-Valley League. Sean Finnegan over here. We saw you finish first in the TVL Invitational cross country. Owen, the coachy. My goodness, one of the best competitors in Westwood track and field history. Guys, how did it feel out there? We'll start with you, Sean.
Felt pretty good. I mean, it was really windy, which is never ideal, but it's all right. I felt pretty good considering I raced on Saturday.
Not bad at all. And Owen, how'd that one feel for you? You started off pretty strong and finished strong. It's pretty tough keeping up with this guy, I'm sure.
Yeah, the start was definitely good, and I was hanging on in the end for the last 2 laps, but yeah, overall pretty good.
Talk about the mutual respect. You guys are top runners. You guys known each other, been running against each other for the last several years. Talk about the respect of competing. You guys now seniors. The last few years you've been really going at it. Really pushing each other to do each other's best.
Yeah, since the start, he's been like a phenomenal runner. And I've kind of been honored to be able to run with someone as fast as him, because not all leagues have someone who can run as fast and is as dedicated as he is. So it's amazing, yeah.
See, I mean, who said that Westwood Wolverines and Hopkinton Hillers can't get along? Sean, similar sentiment, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I definitely remember racing against you a lot, especially I remember you went out with me at indoor TVLs 2 years ago, and that was really gutsy. And yeah, Westwood's always been a great team. I love you guys as coach. He's really nice, and yeah, it's a very sportsmanlike team.
Now, you guys going to go right back at it? 2 mile as well today? Is that in the cards?
No 2 mile today.
2 mile?
I was surprised, but I looked at the entries. 2 miles not even on there. I don't think we're doing a 2 mile.
No 2 mile. But guys, terrific job. Love to see, ultra competitiveness, but also some mutual respect. Appreciate the time, and I'm sure some more work out there. But thanks for the time, and best of luck the rest of the meet.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
We'll send it back up to Colby and Mike. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. All right, and with that, we're in the midst of this 4x100. As you can see, that handoff there slowed down the runners, but I believe it will be Hopkinton. Here, they will be neck and neck here going in the final, but Westwood's up in front here. As you might see, there's different runners, but Kaylin Jeremiah, lane 2, trying to reel in the victory. But then lane 3 here, the Westwood athlete, that'll go down to the end there. Wow, photo finish. Kaylin Jeremiah tried to close the gap, but I believe Westwood might have taken away the victory there.
Like Avery Boehm was finishing strong for the Wolverines in lane 4.
Wow, that was a close one. As you can see, those handoffs, some were a little bit shakier than others, but that was a close one.
Yeah.
As you just wrapped up your interviews there, going right into the action, that was a close one.
That was awesome. I mean, my goodness, that's why you come to these meets, is when you see finishes like that.
I believe Westwood walked away with the victory there, but Jeremiah, she put her mark in that. Hillers were a bit behind there, and they made up that stagger, but it was a very close to the end. We'll get you with those times as soon as we have them. But that 4x1 by the girls was, I'd say, almost race of the day.
It looked like, my goodness. So it looked like it was between lane 3 and lane 3 for Hopkinton was Bransfield, Rogers, Morrissey, Jeremiah. And then for the Wolverines, Shannon McGrail, Corrigan, Abby Presley, and Avery Boehm.
And that, as I said before, there was a 2-second gap, but that didn't matter. Those were just times that were put in before. What matters is what you do when you show up on the track, and Westwood showed up, and I believe they took away the win. We'll get you with those times as soon as we can, but that's why it's important. It doesn't matter what time you have coming in the race. It doesn't matter because 2 seconds is a big deal.
Yeah.
Especially, 4 girls running 100 meters. It's going to be close. And those 2 seconds are a big deal, but that one was less than a tenth of a second. It was close. It might have been a bit more than that. Might be exaggerating that a little bit, but
you know what?
That was close.
So when I look at the relay times, it looks like Hillers have a 2-second their best is 52 versus Westwood's 54, but doesn't really make a difference when you think about if all of the four shade or cut into their times. That's a 2-second difference right there.
As we're moving very quickly here in the 4x100 meter,
yep.
As that is Patrice, who you might have saw in the 100 meters. He's bringing up first place right now. Yeah, he's flying for the Hillers. Great handoff there for the order might be a bit mixed up here. So we have
the unofficial order is, we won't know till it's over, but Hopkinton, my goodness.
That was Jason O'Connell handing off to Harry Miller. You saw win the 100 meter, and he will win the 4x100 meter for the Hillers. So that's 10 points on the day for him. That you'll add to the Hillers lead, I believe, in this meet. It's a great performance by him and his team.
And Jessup finishing for the Wolverines for second, but on the relays, only first place takes points, if I'm correct, right?
I believe so. We'll have to fact check that.
Yes. Wow. So the Wolverine girls got the win in the 4x100. So McGrail, Corrigan, Presley, Bohm by literally
0.03.
0.03.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So I was not wrong by less than a tenth of a second. That's how close it was. 0.03. It's 1,000th or 100th of a second.
That's big. 5 points. I mean, Wolverines. So you're not sure how the point accumulates for the relays, but to take that's massive.
That's big for them.
And the boys still accumulating not only just the times, but also the who was involved. But pretty cool opportunity to be able to interview Sean Finnegan and Owen Kochi. These are two runners that have been going at it for 4 years.
Yeah,
both seniors.
I love how you mentioned that unity, despite being on different teams, wearing different same color actually, but different logos. It's great that they have that sportsmanship, because that's what sports is all about, especially in these lower levels. You want to carry that. As Sean Finnegan's going into UMass Lowell, he'll want to carry that positive attitude, that sportsmanship, because that's what you're raised on, and you want to have that sort of respect, as you mentioned, for each other. Yeah,
and you know what? That was probably the first time they've actually had the opportunity to really show that sign of respect to each other like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a great sight to see. It's the girls 400 meter.
Yeah, it's girls 400 meter heat 1. Phoebe Klein, Ryan Colleran, Clara Bransfield, Haley Cashman, Sophie Razul, and Sophia Perlovsky. Some talented runners in this heat for the Wolverines. Haley Cashman, keep an eye on her in lane 4. She's coming around the corner.
Wow,
Haley, one of the top runners.
Clara Bransfield here, lane 3. This one's going down the end.
Nice little battle.
Very strong battle here. Clara's trying to get a last leg there. The Westwood runner walk away.
My goodness.
Wow.
Haley Cashman, her father, Hall of Fame runner at Westwood High School, also ran at Providence. Haley Cashman, a state champ when it came to the cross country. So which is pretty impressive. When you see cross country runners that really their strength is the mid distances. That's a lot of talent. When you have runners that are the mid distance runners, hurdle runners, but they also do cross country like that, that's pretty incredible.
What's great about that is both those runners very close to the end, neither of them are seniors. Cashman's a junior, Bransfield's a sophomore. So they still have another year, 2 years to grow, as they were ahead of the pack by
very
a good
high
distance.
ceiling. They have as talented as they are now. They're only going to get stronger, faster. And these are what I've noticed. The runners who are as talented as they are just as bit as they work very, very hard. It doesn't come easy to them. They work for everything that they're earning out there.
And you mentioned being stronger and faster. That's not just physical. That's mentally as well. That's just as important, if not more important.
Totally.
If you're seeing yourself behind in a race, you can't give up. You just can't.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going to happen. As you saw Zach McNally earlier stumbled on a hurdle. Someone could stumble. Someone could not have as much of a kick as you expect them to. You could have more of a kick than you expect yourself to, especially in a 400 meter where anything can happen. You're supposed to start off sprinting. The way it's supposed to go, you start off sprinting, you glide, you go around, and you just explode. Give it everything you got, and that explosion could be more depending on that mental toughness that you have.
We all have that voice in our head that says you can't do it. You know, you're not good enough, or you're too tired, slow down. And the people who are able to just quiet that and to just double down on, no, I can. Those are the ones that are really successful at anything they do.
As I've talked before to Colby Hughes, actually, he's a very strong 400-meter runner. Many athletes have first push, second push. Yeah. He has a third push. Yeah. Moving on to the final 50 meters. That's what you need. That's what these athletes need to win. So moving on to, that was the
heat 2.
Heat 2 of the girls 400 meter, and I believe those are the only 2 heats you'll see from the girls. Let's move on to the boys next.
So we do have an update on the 4x1 for the boys. Hopkinton took first at a time of 44.18, and the team of Fonseca, Logan, Petit, Friere, and Miller.
Yes, Harry Miller, as I mentioned before, took away the win for the 100 meter and then helped the Hillers secure the win for the 4x1. So great performance from him, as he's primarily a hurdle athlete. 110 meter hurdles, he's his strongest event, but you can show he's very strong at all these events.
We got quick results for the girls. Look at this. We already got the time. So Haley Cashman finishing first at the time of a minute flat. Clara Bransfield with 1 minute 1 second. Ryan Colleran took third with 1 minute 5.
Yeah, very close there, as 1 and 2 were neck and neck, and then a 4-second gap, which is a bit of a difference.
Great battle.
Almost breaking a minute for Cashman. That's very impressive. Yeah. As I believe Bella Walkowitz, she's very good at the 400 meter, didn't run it today. She's right around that time.
Haley Cashman was at Nationals. So she ran the 400 at Nationals. She was also part of the relay team at Nationals. So a terrifically talented runner. And we mentioned, the family aspect of it too. Her sister, Emily, on the team as well, a very talented runner. So really, really talented family. And Haley, sky's the limit, as you said. She's only a junior.
And we're about to be off with the boys 400 meter critical match here. And we are off.
So I don't see Jaden Pollard running. He is the go-to guy for the Wolverines.
Yep, so maybe it'll be a bit of a different result than expected, as he runs a sub 50-second 400, which, trust me, is insane.
Yes, he's one of the tops in the state, and he was at Nationals for the 400, or 300, I believe, because it was indoors.
Most of these athletes today will be running low 50 seconds, so that just 52, 53. So running sub 50 shows how much of an advantage he would have had if he ran this race. But anything can happen. As I said, he's not running this race, but we will still look at Westwood in first here. That is lane 4.
That's Roman Grilly. And Roman Grilly is typically a 400 meter or a 400 hurdle runner. He's gotten into the 400 meter.
Colby Hughes, Patrick Meehan, Daniel Morrissey, 2, 3, and 4 for the Hillers. That'll be a strong performance from them. All 3 of those Hillers, as I mentioned Colby Hughes before, showing his strong performance, getting second place. Couldn't quite get the win there. Very strong performance there by Roman
Grilly. So Roman Grilly this past weekend was part of the 4x4 relay championship team for the Division 4. He was also part of the 4x100 state championship team last year for Division 3. So that last year, his first year in track and field, he was a lacrosse player before that.
Wow. So, speaking of that training, I'd like to tap my cap to Patrick Meehan. Got third place there. I remember I ran track with him last year. He would train, grind every single day, as I actually had an interview with him last home meet. He cares so much about that.
Love that.
Being in the varsity heat means so much, from getting third place and getting 1 point for the Hillers. Impacting the tide of this meet is something that he loves to do, and he works for. I remember he has about 8 bottles of water before his run. So
he's not gonna be dehydrated. I'll tell you that.
That is very true. I was moving to the second heat, the boys 400 meter.
Great start so far. I think it's 2 Hiller runners right now.
Yeah, it's Trevor Zielinski in lane 6. We'll see who's in 5. It's hard to see from this distance. Yep, Parker Rivera.
Yeah. So 1, 2, 3 currently are Hillers.
Lane 1 though, they have that inside lane, which will help them in the second curve, as that is Gavin Paparazzo.
Great name.
But it looks to be that is lane 2 who's in first. Gavin's lane 1 is Aiden Picard, as he had a great 100-meter run before, and Aiden will take away this win. Soccer athlete for the Hillers. Parker in second, Gavin in third. So he will use that straight away to try to get some momentum. But lane 2, Aiden.
Yeah.
take
very
away
impressive. Tell you what, soccer coaches gotta love that. Seeing their runners or their players staying fit, staying active.
Absolutely.
You know?
The varsity coach, Garrett Sawyer's got to be happy with that. He might also be happy with the hacky sack, maybe improving their touch a little bit.
The one touch, and the juggling.
Yeah, it's something that matters a lot for soccer, so he'll be happy with this track performance and this trend that's going on.
He'll be doing bicycle kicks next year for goals.
Around the world, juggling, rainbows, who knows.
Girls on the track. Hurdles on the track. Girls height.
I believe that was, only 2 heats for the boys 400 meters, as we'll have the 100-meter hurdles up shortly.
So we have results. So Roman Grilly for the boys taken first and a personal best at 52.44. Second place, Colby Hughes, 53.12. And then third place, Patrick Meehan, friend of the program, at 54.12.
Great performance by the 3 of those boys. Sub 53 is a very respectable time, and they displayed their athleticism there for both Hillers and the Wolverines. It's a close meet here. We'll see if we can get an update on the score. So we're moving on to the...
We're going to need an accountant for that. That is not easy to keep scores in real time. Will they do it on athletic.net or?
I believe there is a spot to look. I'll see if I can find it here as we're moving on to the 100 hurdles. And something interesting to note is for the boys hurdles for the short distance, it's 10 meters longer.
Interesting. Than the girls?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
See, it's 100 meters for the girls and 110 for the boys. Because the hurdles will also be at different heights, accommodating to the different gender as well. This windy day, but we were mistaken at the beginning here. There will be PRs or personal records shown here today. As I had my interview with Callie Owen, she mentioned having a tailwind, which is something we suspected as we saw these faster times, something that is impacting these runners. As hurdles,
even if it's mental, just thinking I got an advantage. It's like just standing up on the tee box and when you're playing golf and, if you have that crosswind or even a wind in your back, you're feeling stronger up there. Mentally, I'm gripping it and ripping it.
As we do have an update so far on the score here, it is close. Hopkinton up 21-11 for the men's team, and for the girls, Hopkinton up 29-21. Closest meet so far for the Hillers. Can't play around with the Wolverines here.
And it's interesting because we mentioned Jaden Pollard was not part of the 400. So I'd imagine he's going to be He's going to be part of the 800.
That's if he's running. I mean,
I've been seeing him warming up, so he's definitely running.
Something to look out for later.
And I'll check the 800. Yeah, so he's scheduled for the 800.
And he has a 10-second gap projected here. That's not official, but projected 10 seconds, which is huge.
Yeah.
So I talked to advantage of being a junior in high school. I talked to Matthew Delpret today about his race. He told me he's going to have a tough matchup here, hoping to get a PR and qualify for the Twilight meet.
I think that's part of the mix too. Is I think Jaden's looking to qualify. When I talked to him about doing the 800 last week, he was talking about trying to get some scores in, trying to get some runs in.
We only have had 6 out of 16 events for the girls team and 4 out of 16 for the guys. So still plenty to play for and plenty of time to play for as we're about to kick off 100-meter hurdles for the girls. Watch lane 5, Bella Walkowitz. To expect a strong time from her, but Kylie Rogers, lane 3 here, and the lead so far. And then lane 1, Jane Hopkins. It's very close here. Very close to the finish as we'll look at. Wow, that was it's hard to even tell who won that one.
Yeah, well,
three Hillers.
Tell you it was 3 Hillers.
The Hillers won that one.
So Hillers getting, 8 points there?
Bella hoping to get some redemption on the hurdles as she narrowly lost the 400-meter hurdles earlier today. And she also was doing the high jump. So using those jumping skills today.
So the girls were up 29-28, up 8. And then after that sweep right there, they just doubled their lead.
Wow. And that's how fast it can change. Yeah. Westwood could do the same in the next event. So stay tuned and stay ready here live on HCAM as anything can change and no lead is too big.
Update on the boys' baseball game. They are up 4-1 on the Norton Lancers.
Yep, in the 6th inning there. So trying to hold on to that 3-run lead there with just an inning and a half to play.
One of the best camera angles in all of TVL and even Massachusetts. Where are you going to see a dead center, straight away angle like that?
It's a great angle. Only downside is being the one to talk about that. You're going to need some binoculars for it. But it's definitely worth the sacrifices. We're looking at Grace Gallagher here for the Hillers, as this is a all-Hiller heat. And it will be Grace Gallagher out of lane 2, I believe. Lane 3, apologies for that. She'll get the win in the second heat for the girls' 100-meter hurdles.
The Hillers have depth for their depth. It's incredible. We've seen a bunch of heats where it's just been all Hillers. It's been. Now something was funny on the PA. I don't know what it was.
I was too focused to see what was going on there, but that's
we got a laugh from the crowd.
That's Coach Prescott there on the mic there. So
where is he? Is he on the field somewhere?
Oh, you can see him there setting up the hurdles right dead center. So
he's got the mic in his hand. Okay.
Very involved.
The sun hat. Love
history
to see it.
teacher as well for Hopkinton. So very involved in the town. As you can see him being the one to set up these hurdles. That's what you want from a coach. You want the coach to be the one to get involved. You want them to be on the track.
A 2008 graduate at Hopkinton High School.
And to make you feel older, that's the year I was born.
Wow. So I was out of high school for a couple of years. I was in college. Yeah. So fun fact for the Hillers is new incoming principal for Hopkinton is coming from Westwood High School.
Yes, I did hear about that. So a little switcheroo there.
Yes, TVL switch.
As we're getting set up here, moving up the hurdles and moving them back a little bit since it is 10 meters longer. And this is hard. If you see that hurdle face to face and you think, yeah, I'm about to jump over 10 at least of these, that's scary. That's why I avoided them. I do not believe Harry Miller is running this, as he's ran 2 fast sprinting events already, but
they have his name there, but it may be just as we mentioned, they're unofficial. So it may have been some changes. As we see a football being tossed on the field.
All sorts of action here on the Hopkinton field. Some hacky sacks to footballs.
That field, I'll tell you what, when Westwood came here to play, it was torrential downpour, and I think it turned into mud for the second half.
Definitely a different environment here today. It's all sun, but a lot of wind too.
Yeah.
So that's impacting for the better, it turns out.
Yes.
This tailwind is helping out these runners. But a very sunny day. It's, I'd say, perfect weather. I mean, it depends on if these times will be upheld due to the wind, but I mean, it's great day to run, great day to compete in this TVL large matchup between the Hillers and the Wolverines.
Now, do the lights come on at any point, or do you think they finish before?
I hope they'll finish, but they will come on if needed.
There's nothing better than a little,
a little night action.
Little Tuesday night lights.
Nothing better than that in this big matchup here. Is only 1 loss combined for these 2 teams. So very strong performances against the rest of the TVL. And this meet has not disappointed, as you've seen some very photo finishes here between the 4x100 meter and then the very start with the 400 meter hurdles, both guys and girls. As we're getting ready, you don't see a ton of the athletes here lined up for the 110 meter hurdles, and I'm not seeing a lot of Westwood athletes as well. So we'll see.
I only see 2 Westwood, and who knows if they're in it, because we've seen obviously what it looks like starting, but it hasn't been 100% accurate.
So yeah, we will update you as soon as they're about to go on if Westwood will have runners competing, but Hopkinton takes a lot of pride in their hurdle.
On the camera right now, I'm only seeing Hopkinton. I don't see any Wolverines right now.
Yeah,
I
agree. I mean, that green can sometimes sneak in there, but I'm seeing a lot of H's.
All right, on the track. Please clear the track.
So Coach Prescott there
doing a good job
ordering around and making sure
you got to herd the sheep. You got people walking on the track and whatnot, but also you got to move things along. So doing a good job being assertive.
So it looks like we'll have 2 heats of 3 runners in lanes 1, 3, and 5. So very good that they're spread out, because if you mess up, you're not going to mess someone else up, hopefully.
And at first glance, It's looking like it's going to be all Hillers.
So it looks like that will be
both heats.
Very big in deciding the victor of this meet is the Hillers are heading off here in this all Hiller heat. Let's look for Matt Logan in lane 1. Won the 400-meter hurdles. He is gliding through this. As you'll see, some hurdles fell over, but Matt Logan didn't look back, and he will walk away with the victory. Very strong performance there from Matthew Logan. Actually, believe it or not, he is slower than his brother, Jacob Logan. So I love to see those two go head-to-head.
Well, sibling rivalry.
Sibling rivalry. Nothing better than that.
Well, smack talk at the dinner table.
Oh, yeah, for
bragging
sure.
rights.
Definitely some of that. But Matthew Logan didn't look back, as I said before, and won that race for the Hillers and added 5 points to their tally. As a little update on the scores, the women's team is up 38-21. So as you mentioned before, they did double their lead. Went from 28 to 38 points off of that hurdle performance. So looking at the second heat.
It's a huge point swing and momentum swing. But girls do have a strong presence in the 800.
And the boys do as well, as you saw with that runner at a 10-second gap. So very close still here as we're moving on to the second and final heat. The boys 110-meter hurdles. I'd say look out for Zach McNally, but looking at Envy in lane 3, as he will walk away with that win.
Solid.
Wasn't aware of his game. Wow.
I was going to say it was flawless, but did hit that last hurdle.
We'll see if that impacts his time there.
3 hurdles if you're Blake Churchill.
I've seen some jokes
Blake
here.
Churchill gets 3 hurdles.
Sorry, Blake, you gotta get an extra workout in.
See, when you're a teacher, and there's kids that owe detention time, you can always find ways to make up for the detention.
Have them pay it off here, getting an extra hurdle or setting up an extra block.
Yeah.
They still do detention?
They do detention. I mean, don't ask me. I'm a scholarly student.
I would never have.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that still around? I mean, that was a big thing for back in the day.
Yeah, typically I've seen some teachers do morning detentions coming in before school because no teacher wants to stay in after school.
No.
They call it dawn patrol.
Mike Mao is a teacher at Westwood High School, and he's always on the sidelines taking photos. And any kids that do have detention at Westwood, he has them help upload, some of the photos. Or he still has a whole box of the original physical photos, and he'll have them scan those. So he puts a lot of the kids to work.
Yeah, take some weight off your shoulders and also give them a little bit of a punishment, but also something fun to do, depending on the way you look at it. So moving on to the 800, a highly anticipated match between the girls and the boys. As this one will be a very crucial event in this overall matchup between the Hillers and Wolverines, as the rest of the game will either be catch-up or neck and neck, depending on how this race goes. So see them clearing off the hurdles from the track.
So Westwood just doesn't have the numbers as Hopkinton does. They didn't have anyone fielded for the 100-meter hurdles for the boys. So, I mean, that was 8 points for the boys as well. 8 points for the boys, 8 points for the girls. And the 100 meters for the girls, 110 meters for the boys.
So if my math is correct, it will be 37-21 for the boys. That's not official yet. So that's not updated yet on athletic.net. But as soon as it is, we will update you for that.
This is where I think we're starting to get into some really competitive races.
Yes.
So the 800 for the girls. We're going to see Emily Cashman, younger sister to Haley Cashman, who won the 400.
Yep.
Also going to see Kara Sullivan, state champ in cross country. Violet Gavin, very talented runner for the Wolverines. She is, I think, only a sophomore. Yeah, sophomore. It's going to be a great matchup. And Hiller's also very impressive runners, too. You see Tumbleton, who we already called her name, I believe, in the mile.
Yep, look out for Jillian Torrance. She's a long-distance runner as well.
Yep.
As this race is unique, as you saw some shots from the long jump, but this one, runners light up in a half horseshoe, I would say, What's different about this, you're not lined up in your lanes. There's no stagger. You're supposed to run, and then at some point you can all just merge into that first lane. So this start is very, very important in your place in this 2-lap race as these runners are getting ready, and they are off here in the girls 800 meter, all in a big pack. As you can see them clumped up in this wind.
Pack mentality.
So you see some of the runners like to take a lead, but others like to stay in that pack, get comfortable, not go off too strong, too slow. But we will see a runner here, really strong start. We'll try to get you updated on the name as we don't have any lane numbers for these. But
Emily Cashman for the Wolverine, she's in second. See, looks like Elise Boger out there as well. So we'll, as we come by the near side, we'll be able to at least say some of the Westwood names. A great start, though, for the Hillers.
We'll see if she can.
Looks like is this Tumbleton?
I believe it is Tumbleton.
And Emily Cashman in second.
See if she can hold on to that. Chloe Tumbleton, strong start. Let's see if she can get a positive split, which means she gets a faster second lap than the first.
Yeah.
Don't know if that will happen. That was a very strong start. Maybe a bit too strong. We'll see how that plays out. See if she loses some of that lean, which I anticipate she will. But how much is the question?
She's got a 2:26. Is that average time or is that best time? When they have the
I believe that's just a list time of just what they're expected to do. Maybe they haven't ran the event yet this season. That's sometimes what they do.
So, I mean, she has the favorite when it comes to the time. So she certainly showing that. She's got a good lead ahead of Cashman.
And Tumbleton's proving me wrong. She's not slowing down.
No, she's going strong.
She's cruising. Full cruise control, not looking back. Not losing that lead at all. Very strong performance. She'll have that's at least a 7-second lead for Tumbleton. Here, you can see their arms pounding, head trying to be held up high. Maintaining that form is very important here.
Yeah. I mean, Tumbleton looks unaffected right now.
Not one bit.
Coming off a mile run, too. So, I mean, it's 800 and a mile on the same day.
And that is
easy.
Jillian Torner I said to watch out for. She's going to get second place for the Hillers. And Hillers will also get third as well. So that is 1, 2, and 3 for the Hillers. They'll add to their lead there.
Emily Cashman going to take fourth. And Emily, a freshman. So, I mean, pretty impressive. A freshman finishing fourth. You know, this is really a strong distance for the Hillers, you know, as you see. But with Cashman taking fourth as a freshman, really, you know, really promising upside for her for many years to come. She's already obviously a very talented runner, but to do that against one of the state's best teams, pretty good.
Very impressive and scary, I would say, as trying to represent the Hillers. That's going to be interesting to see as she gets older and more experienced, and see if she impacts and maybe gets a podium.
Yeah.
Next year, maybe even later this year. There's still time.
Still time.
As the boys 800 meter, it's going to be a very anticipated match.
Yes.
Matthew Delbrett listed as Hopkinton's best runner, but that's 10 seconds slower than Jaden Pillard. A name that I believe will be one to look out for.
Jaden Pillard is a guy that I think will certainly make a case for a potential individual state championship for the 400. Now, we didn't see him in the 400 today, but he's already this year broken school records. He's certified himself with a national ranking in the 400, I think inside the top 25 right now nationally for the 400. So really making his mark as a senior. He'll be running at Colby College next year.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of athletes run there. Harry Miller as well, very strong athlete as the 110-meter hurdles. He's also going to Colby College. And then you're talking about ranking. Sean Finnegan's also ranked nationally. So you'll see some of these runners improving, helping out the team, but also helping out themselves moving into the later part of the season and their careers, as officially Hopkinton will take a 35-24 lead for the men's team, and the girls will take the 43-25 lead. So still close, still only 11 points between first and second here for the boys.
Boys getting ready for the 800. This is going to be a great one to watch. As we mentioned, Jaden Pollard with a 10-second advantage with his list time.
Yeah, again, though, that is a list time, so you never know.
Yeah,
I mean,
anything can happen on game day.
The girls Hopkinton 4x100 were listed 2 seconds faster, and they lost by 300.
There's only 2 Wolverines in this race. Coleman Hickey is in there, and he's about 24 seconds off of Jaden's time, and Jaden already right off the bat taking the lead.
He's making his mark. Easy to spot here up front. Interesting to see how Matthew Delpret will respond, as he is listed at the Hillers fastest runner. Also, something to mention, Patrick Meehan, he ran the 400 meters, and I believe he's also running this event as well. So that is no easy task. We'll update you on if he is running this event, as some of those times not listed. But Jaden,
there's no question that the 800 is going to make Jaden a better 400 runner. When you work those muscles, 400 is going to seem like a 40-yard dash.
Yeah, and look at his posture.
Yeah.
Very upright, very
confident,
fluid running motion. He's just unfazed, breathing very controlled. You can see here up from the booth. See some of the Hillers distance runners trying to make their mark. We'll see if I'm not seeing Matthew Delpret on the track. Update you if he is listed there, but something to look out for as some of these names get pulled out last second. It's Jaden Pollard just extending his lead. Even on the camera, you can't even see any athletes around him. Wow.
Getting stronger and stronger. He was doing about an hour-long warm-up. And saw him warming up when they were starting the 400 hurdles.
And yeah, warm-ups are important, very important. Sets the tone for the day and the race. And Jaden Pollard will stroll to a Westwood victory here. We'll check on that time, as well as the times for the Hiller athletes as well.
Wow, it looked like he beat his 2:01. So we'll have to get the official time on that. But
if that's the case,
at a glance, looked like he beat the 2:01. It may have been inside 2 minutes.
If that's
I thought I saw 1:59, but we will confirm.
And we'll also get an update on those Hiller runners as well.
Yep.
That's James Kirkwood finishing up for the Hillers. You can see the physical strain it takes on your body.
Oh, absolutely.
Heavy breathing it's not easy to do 800. I did it a couple times back in 8th grade. It's hard.
I talked to Owen Kochi, who finished second in the mile, and he said, I've asked him about when he does the mile and the 2 mile on the same day. He said he'd rather do that than do the mile and the 800.
And that says a lot about the 800, because it is a shorter distance, but it's asking for so much more.
Absolutely grueling.
You're supposed to be running around the same time for each lap.
You can see them all hunched over,
Yeah.
It's like 6-1 final at the baseball game.
Yeah, we got a final in the baseball game. Hillers winners 6-1 over TVL Small Norton in a big TVL win. So doing what they need to do to chase after a TVL title is you got to win those TVL games. There's no free win when it comes to baseball. A lot of parity in the baseball side of the Tri-Valley League.
Yep, they might not have the best record, Norton, but Hillers there with a strong win. And normally the baseball and softball team play at the same time, but because of some weather, we have the baseball team playing today and softball tomorrow, as I will be on the call for that game as well. So tune in tomorrow for the softball game, also against Norton, I believe, as the Hiller softball team coming off some double mercy victories. So that means winning by more than 12 runs after 5 innings. As the softball team went to the Final Four last year, lost to Bedford. And they're even dealing with some injuries, as Addie Walls has been out. She's a very strong
she's one of the
pitcher.
top pitchers.
Junior. She's injured right now.
She can hit, too.
Hoping to be back for the postseason, but look out for that.
Caroline Osmond still in the lineup. She was a terrific player.
Yep, and then you also have freshman Ellen Stomberg, pitcher now.
Callie Arthur in center field still.
Yep.
She's a great player. Lucy Jean, is she softball too?
I believe so. And then Ava Davenport steals lots of bases.
Yeah. Hiller's very impressive. Wolverines played them in the round of 16 last year. or it might have been the round of 8 for softball. I forget. It was here, and Tom and I covered it. And Addie Walls was every bit impressive as advertised.
She had a very, very strong. She from the beginning to the end of the season improved drastically, becoming a TVL All-Star, and hopefully she can be back for when it matters for the Hillers softball team. As I believe there will be a second.
I think a heat 2 for the 800.
Heat 2 of the 800 shows how many athletes care about their races. We'll see a Westwood athlete snuck in there, so Westwood has some depth as well.
Yeah, and these mid ranges, you really see a lot more depth there. The hurdles, not so much. They're not big on the hurdles.
Hurdles either in or out.
In hurdles, the Roman Grilly, who won the 400 for Westwood, was a very good 400-meter hurdler last year. But, I don't blame him. If you can do the grueling 400-meter hurdles, that's going to make you a pretty impressive 400-meter runner.
Yep, I agree 100% on that one.
You take the jumping out of it, you're going to have a little extra.
As after the boys 800, we'll take a different kind of race with the 200 meters. So that's a half a lap. That is a very crucial race. That's a sprint, but it's also a bit of a slingshot. You're going to try to go against the curve to start out the race and then just explode to the straightaway. That last 100 meters, all-out sprint. The whole race is designed to be an all-out sprint. Takes everything from you. Wouldn't say as hard as 400 meter hurdles. I'd say it's a bit more straightforward, but it's all the while impactful to this race.
I thought I heard a starting go off. Was that a false? Nope. This must be heat 2.
Heat 2,
so
boys 800.
There was some time in between the heats.
A strong start here by Hopkinton runner. We'll see if we can get a name on that later on, or if we'll just see what the results show.
We haven't seen the results come in for, and now still no results for, no, we do. So Jaden Pollard, it was just over 2 minutes, so 2 minutes and 1 second for first place.
And yeah, Matthew Delprat did not compete in that one.
Gavin Scott, second, 2 minutes 14. And then taking third was Darian Leo, 2:20.
See the first lap almost concluded here. Second heat of the boys 800 meter.
Now, what are the chances we see Tom Nappy here before the end of the meet? I have a feeling a strong chance. I see him going. He's going to work over there right now on the cords. I see him raveling them all up. It is quite the process. I mean, shout out to HCAM. Just to set up for these games, it is incredible prep. We got the best in the business. Mike Tarosian, Denise Antaki. We also got Colby Crum.
Yeah.
It's, there's a reason why HCAM is, one of the top dogs in the state when it comes to coverage. A lot of live games, incredible. The amount of live coverage. It takes dedication. 19 sports. And you know what is, something's really a well-oiled machine is not only all hands on deck for games, but you see the board members that show up and help and film and whatnot. It's really awesome.
Yeah, it's great. We do try our best here on HCAM as Tom Nappy's finishing up there. But we still got a long few events here. We got the 200 and then the 2 mile, and then we'll finish it up with the 4x400. 2 mile will take a little bit of time, so we'll see.
The 4x400 is always like the grand finale in the Boston Pops.
About to say, thinking the same thing as you might have heard me before mention those athletes will gather around that straightaway.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see them there, gather around, cheer on. It's kind of like a last hurrah to finish off the meet. Whether you win or you lose, you just want to cheer on your teammates, especially considering Westwood Bus won't leave until all the meets are done. So there's no reason for these athletes to not go out there and cheer, even if they're not competing. Also see finishing times here for the second heat of the boys 800 meter. As Hopkinton has a 44-24 lead from the men's, and then 56-30 for the women's team. Some field events still going on as well, but getting ready for the 200 meter up next, which will start.
I love seeing the cars on the field.
Yeah. 200 meter has a different starting point. You'll see on the goalpost out to the left there.
Yeah,
You'll
are they starting on the right side or the left side?
They'll start
over there. Okay,
over there
same as Westwood. Yeah, you start from the perspective of the press box. As I see the hacky sack back out.
Yep, that's not going to go away just quite yet, but might at some point. See that.
But now this is what it's all about. It's a little bit cooler now. It's not, earlier it was a little hot with the wind. Now it's less wind and cool. This is what we've earned after the winter we had.
Yeah, unpredictable.
Record-breaking snow overnight.
Very unpredictable New England weather. Remember doing my first track and field call against Norwood just a few days prior to that snowed. And then all of a sudden it's sunny.
Yeah.
And ready to race on a track that's cleared. But we'll see what the weather brings this summer. But today is a very nice day. The heavy winds turn to just a bit of a breeze. And the sun's going down a little bit, so cloudy here on the horizon. So we're getting ready for the girls' 200 meter. See if we can get the names for that. As Callie Owens, who I interviewed before, will be running in this meet, according to Athletic Net. So she comes off a win from the 100 meter.
So interesting to see for the Wolverines. So they have a mix of like mid runners as well as the speedsters. So we saw Layla Elliott Lewis. I think she went head to head with Callie Owens.
Yep.
In the 100.
Won by about 0.2.
Yes, and then Haley Cashman, who won the 400. So this is a good mix.
And this is off.
Yes.
So 200 meter is off and going. As Callie Owens here will have the lead. We'll look out for lane 6, Abigail Presley. And then also
Layla Elliott
Lewis here.
Cashman working her way in there.
Layla Elliott Lewis, very close finish to the end. So they'll have their heads down the lead. We'll get a time on that one.
Yeah,
hard
very
this
close.
tall.
Looks like a strong finish by Layla Elliott Lewis. Abby Presley, very speedy on the outside, and then Cashman was holding strong on the inside for the Wolverines in lane 2.
So Callie and Layla building up a bit of a rivalry here for these quick races. Interesting to note that Kaylin Jeremiah and Addie Morrissey both competed in the 4x1 that lost by 0.03 of a second. So they tried to get that anger out there.
That might have been one of the best races of the day. I mean, we've seen some good ones. We've seen some photo finishes, but
I think the girls.
This was a good mix of like people we've seen already win.
Exactly.
We saw a 400 winner in there. We saw this. We saw the 100 winner in there. We saw second place for the 100 in there as well.
And the girls will take the cake on the entertainment value for the day.
Absolutely.
It's the second heat of the girls 200. See another mix of Hopkinton and Westwood.
Yeah.
This looks to be lane 4, which is Sophia Perlovsky.
Going strong. Terrific job. Start to finish.
She'll get the win there. Second place will be Allison Zielinski.
Yeah, and this is also another popular race when it comes to heat-wise. So I'm seeing 4 heats for the girls. So they're going to put the remaining 2 from lane heat 4 into heat 3.
So yeah, we'll see. I assume 2 of those runners must have been listed out.
Yeah.
It was a close one for the girls, and Westwood got the win.
I'm interested to see the results. So, my goodness.
Wow.
8.08 of a second. Hopkinton got the win. Callie Owens, 26.92. Layla Elliott Lewis, 26.96. That is about as close as you'll see any race in the state of Massachusetts.
Close. Yeah.
And Haley Cashman, 27.15. Presley, a fraction behind, 27.55.
So Callie will take the win barely with 5 points added to the Hillers, but Westwood will get second and third, so that'll be 4 points added on.
Yeah.
So only 1 point will be gained despite getting the win. Kelly narrowly got that one, 800th of a second. Again, we'll repeat that because it's necessary to do so. That was a close one.
That's awesome. So, very entertaining 200-meter race for the girls. Hard to top that. We'll see who's running for the boys. We're going to have some pretty good amount of heats for the boys. I mean, right now, saying 6 heats, I'd imagine they'll probably kind of combine a few of them together, so maybe 5, depending on who's in, who's out. But we're going to see some state champs for Westwood boys. Charlie Jessup, who's part of the 4x1 team, as well as Tino Giannopoulos, who's part of the 4x1 and the 4x4.
And we're off with this heat. No Ian Welding for the Hillers, so this race is wide open. As you'll see, Knutson, it's Jack Knutson out of lane 3 as he's coming away with that. But Jacob Logan trying to catch up to him. This one's going to be very close to the end here. Jacob making up the ground here, and he will get the win. What a comeback from Jacob Logan.
Very impressive. That was
full
very
effort.
Fast.
Full effort there by Jacob.
And then who took second?
That was Jack Knutson.
Knutson second, and third was Tino Giannopoulos.
Wow.
Tino Giannopoulos was part of the relay team, Division 4 relay team that won the 4x4 state championship, I think just Division 4 championship this week. So
Knutson had the lead coming out of the curve, but Jacob Logan had something to say about that.
He did.
As he reeled him down and caught up and got the victory for the Hillers. What a performance by Jacob Logan. So he didn't run his typical events. He normally does 400-meter hurdles, 110-meter hurdles. He ran the 100 meters. You saw before he was in a later heat, uncommon for him to be in a later heat. But he gets the win here, the 200.
Here comes heat 2. Got a mixture of Wolverines and Hillers.
And that is Josh Fonseca, lane 5.
Nico Castaldini is trying to get into the mix. He's moving his feet, trying to finish strong. And looked like a Hiller able to hold strong and get the win. Nico closely in second.
But Josh Fonseca will take the win for that one.
Pretty impressive. Nico Castaldini's a linebacker in football.
Would
so
not
when you
have
look at
guessed
that
that.
speed, for a 200-meter, a linebacker running that fast.
That's impressive.
That's going to be a scary sight in the football field going sideline to sideline.
Would not want someone that fast, that size running at me. That is scary. It's very entertaining 2 heats for the boys, so I didn't like my comment about girls being entertaining.
The boys certainly adding their talent to the mix. We got heat 3 coming up.
And that is kicked off there. See another mix. I believe Hopkinton and Westwood, you'll have one Westwood runner here in lane 2, but is lane 1. It is Somash. But Westwood here looks to be climbing with the victory.
Timmy Jessup holding strong. Timmy Jessup, have a day. Timmy is the younger brother to Charlie Jessup. And well executed. Heat 3.
Great performance by him. Doesn't matter what heat you're in, you'll always impact this race. And you'll always try to improve your own time as he hopes to climb the ladder and get to those higher heats, moving on to the last stretch of the season. So we have a few more heats to go. We'll see if they clump some of them together.
Yep. Now, how helpful is it when you have the blocks and you have some extra support from your friend in there putting their foot on it to help keep it solid on the ground?
It's helpful, but it's more of a confidence boost, I would say.
Sure.
Knowing someone literally has your back.
Mental edge.
And knowing you can put your full force on that block and just explode out. That is something that is very helpful as Westwood here.
Yeah, it's a great start and holding on strong.
For a great finish. So Westwood will take victory there in one of the later heats, the 200 meter. But again, the block start, it's also it's a preference thing. Some people don't prefer it, but 200 meter or 100 meter, I believe it's a must.
Yeah.
It's something that can give you
start is a lot.
Half a second.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Also, like if you are feeling like you're starting in mud, it's a tough mental block to get out of.
Exactly. You see all these people fly right in front of you, it's going to be demoralizing.
Yeah.
So we'll see if we can get a times on these 200 meters. And it looks like Jack Knutson took the victory. Despite the fact that it looked like Jacob Logan, Jack Knutson 23.10, Jacob Logan 23.15. So 0.05 of a second. It looked, in my eyes, like Logan won that one. But the times don't lie. Knutson, showing his senior leadership, will take the victory in the 200 meter. Very close. 0.05 of a second.
Oh, incredible.
Between the two Hiller athletes. That's something.
And you know what? Tino Giannopoulos, he looked like he was, at least a body length behind. No, he was closer than we thought. He was only, 0.3 of a second behind.
Yeah, so apologies for getting the wrong order on that one, but Knutson.
So I do want to circle back, and thanks to Sandra Castaldini, she had mentioned to double check on the 800. Jaden Pollard was inside 2 minutes.
Wow.
1:59. He won by 13 seconds, folks. My goodness.
So glad that time was justified for him.
Thank you, Sandra, for having me double check on that. It looked like the results were in, but those weren't official.
Yeah, because it seemed like it was sub 2 minutes looking at the clock and seeing his feet go past that line. So happy that he got that result that he deservingly so deserves.
He was a man on a mission.
Yeah.
You know what? You can tell when you see people hit the track and they're here hours early, when they show up with purpose. He was here with purpose today, and you could see it from start to finish. Now, it's funny seeing him do cross country because it's not his specialty, but he still hangs in the mix. He does a pretty good job with that. So that looks like that might have wrapped up the 200, and up next, the grueling 2 mile.
Something I would never run personally.
The 2 mile? What's your specialty?
When I did track, I like to do the 2 and the 4, but it was not easy.
Yeah.
The distance is something I avoided, but any distance is respectable.
Yeah.
The 2 miles is something that takes a lot from you.
Yeah.
Being able to run the same pace and then still have enough to give it that kick at the end, very impressive.
So we have a bunch of personal bests on the 200, and we're going to give a shout out to them. So John Knutson, personal best. Jacob Logan, personal best. Matthias Azofaifa, personal best. Joshua Fonseca, personal best. Nico Castaldini, personal best at 24.59. St. Kalp Najaneni, personal best. And then Griffin McPherson, personal best.
So this tailwind showing, as you might hear on the mic a little bit, this tailwind helping out these athletes with personal bests.
Yes.
Again, just to emphasize, the 200 meter decided by 0.05 between senior Jack Knutson and junior Jacob Logan. And I'm going to step aside for a moment during this 2 mile and see if we can get any interviews from some of these runners here.
Let's get it.
Down on the track, as the 2 mile boys will kick underway shortly here live on HCAM.
He said he was going to stop. Good.
All right, here we're right by the track here, both seniors, Jack Knutson and Jalen Pollard. Can you guys just take me through your races as you just run the 200 meters? You got sub 2 minutes in 800.
So, and for the 200, I wanted to get out pretty fast, you know, get a good start, make up the stagger. And then once I was with Jacob around there, like the 100, I just kicked it in, tried to get the win, and managed to make it happen.
And for you, Jaden?
Yeah, the 2 was all right. Before the race, I was kind of questioning my abilities today with the wind and everything. I think the gods don't like me today, but I went to Knutson. He's a pretty good runner himself, and he gave me some advice. He told me 3 things for the race: run the round, beat them down, and take the crown. So that's what I did. Went through in 56.5, and then came back in something. But 159 PR, and I'm happy with the result today.
And a very different kind of finish for both of you. You won by 0.05 of a second. You won by a great margin. Can you take me through how it plays, having a different finish there at the end versus being by yourself?
With the tighter finish, it's just, you just kind of have to push and find out. Jacob was right there with me at the end. I couldn't tell if he was in front of me or behind me or just directly next to me. It's just whoever leans the closest at the line. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And for you, being by yourself, how are you able to pace yourself out there with no one else by you?
Well, at the end of the day, I'll say however big or small, we won it all. So not much to say after that. It was a good day, and be proud of Knutson and myself. So thank you.
All right, happy to have both Wolverine and Hiller here on the track. So thank you guys both for your time.
Thank you.
All right, inside 2 minutes.
All right, so we got some more athletes here. Interviewed Callie earlier today. You had a very close 200-meter finish. As you can see, the wind here impacting this race. Can you take me through your race?
Yeah, it was tough because I was in lane 1. So for people that don't know, it's a really hard lane to run in just because you're hugging the curve really tight. But the wind definitely helped coming down that straight, and I honestly blacked out. So I don't really remember much, but it was a good race. I'm happy with it.
And then Claire Bransfield, being a sophomore, can you take me through your races as well and how you did on them?
So I just ran the open 400 today. I have never done that before, so I didn't really know what to expect, but I kind of just did as best as I could, and I'm pretty happy with it.
So when you normally run the 400-meter hurdles, what's one big difference you see running the same distance but with different obstacles along the way?
Well, with the 400 hurdles, it's a harder event for me because I have to gauge the steps between the hurdles and the speed, and it definitely slows me down, but yeah.
All right, and then lastly, Callie, anything you hope to improve on as you're in the final stretch of your season here, heading into the TVL and states beyond that?
Yeah, mostly just starting to work on my block start. It's always been my biggest downfall. And then also re-accelerating at the end of my 100 and 200 to finish stronger than I do.
All right, all laughs today as the Hillers will take away the win against Westwood in this meet. So thank you both for your time as we are wrapped up with these interviews live on HCAM.
All right, and you're looking at some of the open racing here for the girls 2 mile. So we will go with this part without commentary and let you guys enjoy these 8 laps here. As you can see, some hands on hips. I believe that's Wafia, as 2 mile is no easy task. And then we'll move on to the boys 2 mile as well. Lastly, to close out the meets, we will have the boys and girls 4x400 grand finale, as Morgan Donahue stated before. Currently, boys winning 66-38. Hopkinton winning that one, and then Hopkinton also up 70-34 for the girls team as well. So close start here, especially when the girls team took that 400-meter hurdle victory. But we'll let you enjoy some of this 2 mile play. Moving on to the last event of the meet as you are live on HCAM. All right. Finishing up the 4x4 and the meet here, as you might have saw some of those runners, Grace Gallagher, Phoebe Klein, helping out the Hillers get their victory here, as the men's team Hopkinton will win 74-38, and for the women's it will be 88-34. So both great performances, but close to start off the meet, wouldn't you say, Morgan?
Yeah, they pulled away at the end, and I think it's a mixture of a couple things. One, very talented Hopkinton squad, but also a lot of depth, where Westwood didn't have the depth to field certain events. I'd imagine too that they're a little kind of in recovery from a very busy weekend too from the relays. So, but a lot of great things to see today. So one thing we didn't know is there was a personal record for school record alert for Westwood girls in the shot put. So Catherine McMurray set the school record by 1 foot 7 inches with a throw of 33.7. Absolutely outstanding. So we weren't able to cover that because that was outside of the track area. But that happened today, Catherine McMurray. So, some big things happened today for the Wolverines, even though they didn't get the win. But, this is stuff they'll take momentum-wise, like Jaden Pollard, under 2-minute 800.
Very impressive.
So these are things that Westwood will take to, obviously improve themselves with the remaining part of their schedule, also going into states. And then Hopkinton's going to take this as they continue to move forward on a very impressive season they have and take it into their states as well, where they're up a division, I believe, or 2 divisions when it comes to the state. But really entertaining day nonetheless.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, some of these events we may not be able to show as well, but they still make just as much as an impact as shot put school record. Not sure if I can even throw that far, but it will be the Hopkinton Hillers who will take the win, improving to 5-0. While the Westwood Wolverines will fall to 3-2. Still very impressive performances today and a very impressive season so far, as we'll see if some of these athletes can take their skill sets beyond to states and qualifying. As it looks like we will have a boys 4x4, so making their appearance here. We'll see. It's just a little bit of running for personal times, as that won't play a big factor. And this overall meet as that is decided, as we'll see which runners we have here. Some of them might have seen before. As you see Patrick Meehan running up and down.
I think Tom Nappy's name's being called down there to be the fourth runner on the 4x4.
Yeah, wrapping up.
Tom, are you
baseball.
ready? I think he's ready. He got over here pretty quick after the baseball game, so I've seen that speed.
That's all the warm-up you need is get ready for that 4x4, as maybe you can see how well you can handle baton. As these athletes, you can tell Patrick Meehan going up and down, they're taking this seriously. Even if Westwood's left already, even if this is one team, even if it's just Hopkinton, they're going to take it as seriously as they can, because there's going to be meets where it's not just them against themselves. It's going to be states possibly. And it's important for them to get their times because they're competing against each other.
Oh, no question about it. So, we saw all the depth. So you want to be able to stay in that ranked position that you are amongst your own teammates. So, you want to have that time that's going to get you into Heat 1, to keep you in the mix when it comes to your own teammates.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see how this last event will unfold here with the 4x4. So you can see the first leg complete there for the Hillers.
Clean handoff.
We'll see if these names are correct. That was listed for Gavin Paparazzo. And then not sure if that is Colby Hughes on the track, but that's what's listed there. So we'll see which runners qualify for what times here.
That's some Tom Nappy speed right there. Look at that, striding it out, looking good.
Talking speed.
Looking great on the track, as the baseball team had a great performance, 6-1 against Norton. That's a dominant win for them, and no win is going to be regarded as one that's already won before you play. So it's important that you give it your best, as we'll see if softball has a game tomorrow, weather pending for that one. There's a chance that one's going to be postponed, as that is Owen. So you can see that this list here is a bit off. That's the starting goaltender for the varsity team, sophomore for the Hillers, as he ran an event earlier today.
Strong 50-meter.
And a great baton handoff there. Very crucial to this race and to the time, as you want to have that baton adding to your time rather than slowing you down, making you look back and grab it. And I must say, running by yourself is something that's very hard. As we mentioned before with Jaden Pollard running by himself for the 800 meter, you just got to pace yourself. Having that mental toughness, as Morgan, you mentioned before, is very crucial when you're doing a full lap on your own. Still having some people watch you, but at the same time, some of these fans leaving, some of these athletes leaving, so you just got to hold yourself accountable to getting that best time, even if it doesn't impact the race to the level that it might in other meets. As that's James Kirkwood there for the Hillers.
So a little change up on what the original roster looked like. Looked like you had Morrissey in there as the third leg, Kirkwood in there.
And here is Patrick Meehan. He is ready. Got word from him that he was 2 seconds slower than his personal record. Nonetheless, got third place for the 400 meter for the Hillers. So interesting to see that what he can do on what he would call a good day. Yeah. As he's hoping to let off some steam on this 4x4 out there by himself.
We talked about all the hard work he's put in the off season.
100%.
And you like to see people get rewarded that work very, very hard like that.
And he has gotten rewarded just in this case, being in the varsity heat for the 4x4 and being the varsity heat for the 400 meter just last year. No one might know this, but there's many optional workouts for the track team. And Patrick was there for every single one of them. As you see fans cheering his name, gathering not quite on the finish line as I might have thought, but still right there supporting him. And that second leg of the race, or last leg, sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be the wrap.
Hopkinton boys and girls track teams are both TVL champions.
And you might have heard it there from Prescott. Hillers TVL champions here. Saw it first on HCAM. They will improve to 5-0 and have a terrific performance there today against some very tough competition. So the Hillers will take that win and hope to get that momentum heading into states and later meets that will be much tougher to win.
Very impressive day. And, hey, just another season of Hiller dominance in a TVL championship to put a plaque on the wall. So very impressive start to finish. And, they've got quite the feeder system. When you think people graduate and, maybe, other teams are catching up, they keep that lead. They keep that dominance going.
And you might see here on the track some pool noodles, something that I was a part of the past couple years. Normally, all the seniors run across as they celebrate with the orange and green Hiller colors as they're reigning in the victory. Again, Hillers will win get a 5-0 record, and Westwood will fall to 3-2 as we'll come off here with some celebration from the Hillers. I am Colby Crum on the call here with Morgan Donahue, Denise, and Tacky on the camera as we will cheer for the seniors and cheer for TVL-bound champions, Hopkinton Hillers. Thank you for watching, and goodbye, everyone.
The coolest one, number one in your hearts, Noah Paxton. Followed by Patrice
compete against them.
And then Miles Heavey. Give us Evan Gronmeyer. Good gauntlet drill. Give us Joshua Jones. Next is Jack Heaton. And following him is Zachary McNally. Next, William Boucher. And then Darian Leo. Richard. Next is Jack DeRocher. And then Gavin Scott. I'm going to call Iago now so he can walk all the way there. Go, Iago. We're going to wait. Yeah. Owen, that was awful. All right, next. Harry Millar. Followed by Ryan Morin. And then Jason O'Connell. Jack Knudsen. And Mason Barrows. And finally, our last boy senior, Captain Sean Finnegan. And now for the girls seniors, starting us off, Kira Souza. Next, Kaylin Faber. And then next is Allie Desmond with Go Allie. Then Chloe Tumbleton and Mary Finnegan. All right, give a round of applause to our seniors, 2026 seniors. Very great.